Okay, so what's up? What's going on here? Looks like a TWOSUN TS20 party. That's a 20 in D2. Kind of cool blade shape. There's another one in D2. Pretty solid Tonto right there. And we come over here. Another one in D2. Actually, we should probably put this one over here with that because it really, these kind of match, right? And then this one is another 20, but it's a little different because I think it's just got titanium scales. But let me check that. Yeah, titanium scales and a titanium pocket clip, where these are all titanium too. Not that though. But those have this texture in there, whereas this one's just smooth. And this is also a TS20 in D2. So I wonder what's in here. Let's get it out of there and get it checked in. It is not, by the way, a TS20. But it sure looks like a cousin, right? Yeah, so I purposed, like I was thinking about like this little family reunion the whole time. So this one, these are all back flippers. This one's a front flipper. And it's got titanium scales, a ton of neat millwork on the scales and a pocket clip. But basically, it's the same knife, right? Same scale shape as the rest of these. Now, a couple of these are a little different, or this one definitely, but the rest of these are the same. So let's run it. Yeah, and this one is in M390. So I had to complete the set. I think there's like one other, maybe two others where the blade shape is rounded over. So if I come across it, I mean, at this point, I'd have to get it, right? I don't know that I'd say I'd get it at any cost, but I'd have to get it. So this one's only a front flipper. M390 titanium scales. Yeah, feels great in the hand. No different really than these. Yeah, these ride really well. You can feel the pocket clip on those two. This one, there's no pocket clip. That's a dreamy grip right there. Yeah, this one too. You can feel this clip. It's not horrible. It's not hot. It's not uncomfortable. But you can feel it in there for sure. It's kind of cool how this one goes this way and this one goes this way. But the purpose of this video, we are going to check in the cousin, the brother. This is a TS33, not a 22, but or a 20. Clearly, it's in the family. So we'll round off this collection with this. But let's go ahead and get in it. Let's get it apart, get it cleaned up, get it lubed properly. There's no Loctite on that screw, but it did have some tension on it. Yeah, that had a fair amount of tension on it for the pocket clip. One screw. It's got a good profile, recessed really well down into that titanium. So, yeah, it's a good design. It's done and executed well. And then one last screw right here, holding them scales together. That will come out from the back. Oh, I'm just now remembering too. Man, you gotta put these together in the correct sequence, which is this side. You gotta put that side together first. Because if you try to do the other side, this is a pause of the video and come back later. Like go get dinner, have a few drinks, come check on me in a while. Yeah, it's amazing how I struggled with one of these. I'm trying to think which one it was. I think it was this one. Just got the brilliant idea. I'm going to take it apart. And then I tried to put it together with this scale first, with that captured D pivot. And boy, the knife wasn't having any part of that. And the longer it went, the more determined I got to try to make it work. It's like, well, I just got to hold it right. And if I'll do this and if I'll do that, it'll be fine. And the whole time the knife was laughing at me going, sucker, you ain't never going to get me like that. I finally, after 4 or 5 attempts, I finally had to concede and say, okay, brother, you win. Look at the milling on this. It's got that horizontal lines milled into the inside of that scale. It's pretty cool. Never seen anything like that. And surprisingly, these thick little blade stocks are sharp. You know, these edges are not thin in any means. They are a rugged, I'm going to say, self-defense knife. Like, they're tough, man. Very solid and lots of good blade stock, but they, man, they'll thin out and create a good edge. Absolutely will. And we'll test this one here in a minute. A little bit of dirt coming off of there. A little bit of black stuff. Leaving a little spot on my towel. Okay. Well, we are wiped up. Let's put it back together. Let's do it the way the knife wants it done. This way, right here. Excuse me. I don't remember the bottom one gets the thick one. Okay. Like so. There we go. Pretty easy. I mean, that first one I did, whew. I mean, I could hear it laughing at me. And the more it laughed, the more determined I got. And the more determined I got, the more it laughed at me. Started calling me bad names and stuff. And it was clear that it saw me as a clown. Like clown funny. I definitely amused the knife. Okay. Helps when you do it the way the knife likes, because then things go well. Yeah. Pretty simple. Wish I'd have known then what I know now. kept fighting it, thinking that I was going to win. Well, I can do it. I gotta grip it a little different. It'll go. Oh, calm down. What did you do that for? Dork. All right, well, the only way that's going to work is to just start over, because that would be a hot mess trying to manipulate all of that while that's together. So we'll just, hey, I'm going to punt. We're just going to start over and do it again. But I'm not going to pick the knife up till I get a screw in there. There we go. No harm, no foul. It might have been taunting me just to see if I would break stride, act a fool. But au contraire, mon frère. Not this cat. I'm gonna stick to plan, man. Which one's the short one? Which one? The pocket clip's got to be the long one. Yeah. Okay. No worries. Let's just get ourselves lined back up there. You know what? I'm not going to do that pocket clip first. I'm going to do the other one because it will hold everything in place. Like so. Like a glove. Yeah. Okay. Done. Let's just snug everything. I really like this pocket clip. It's got tension on it, but it's springy even though it's so small. And let's check this tension. I mean, as long as that ain't too tight. Nope. That is wonderful. Drop shot action now. Yeah, man. Ooh. I better check for play again. It's one of those, man. It's so smooth that it makes you go, something's loose, but it is not. Look at that drop shot action. I mean, I did a video recently kind of railing about just because the knife's got D2 steel doesn't make it a budget knife. And to be honest, this is an example of that. It's a D2 steel knife. And the fit and finish and the action on this knife, how this all comes together. I mean, I don't think I paid $50 for this knife, which my criteria is $50, for a budget knife. If I can keep it under $50, then I consider it a budget knife. Well, I don't think I paid $50 for this knife. I'd have to look it up, but I don't think I did. And just the fit, and it's this version of this knife. I'm not even really sure who manufactures this, because if you go to like AliExpress, there's several companies that are selling a knife, this knife, just like this, but it's branded something else. So is TWOSUN manufacturing this, or are they buying it and stamping their logo on it? I don't know, because like I say, if you go to AliExpress or DHgate, you're going to find this knife. You're going to find them smooth. You're going to find them with this texture. And it's going to say D2 steel. The only thing it's not going to say is TWOSUN. So are these advertisements buying them unbranded from TWOSUN and then putting their logo on it, or is TWOSUN buying these from from a secondary market and putting their logo on it? I can't answer that. Maybe somebody watching the video can pipe in and add some truth to that, because I don't know the answer. I just know that if you look, you'll find this knife from a lot of different manufacturers. Now, I haven't seen one like this before with the M390 and the milled titanium scales, milled titanium pocket clip. It's definitely an upgrade. Yeah, and this thing is drop shut now. Oh, so nice. So nice. Let's move these. Let's run that pocket clip. It's a little different than that TS20. So let's see how it does. I'm afraid it's going to struggle on this thicker material a little bit just because I'm not going to be able to get under it. Definitely a two-hand operation to do that. I can get under it, but now it's thin in the distance between the scale and the back of the clip. So it's bunched up. So it's really, I'm going to say it is not functional with thicker pants. You know, bibs, work pants, that type of thing. It's not going to make it. Let's check normal jean size material. Yeah, so it runs perfectly in what would be considered a pair of jeans. It's a deep carry clip, but there is still some of that knife poking up out of there. But, I mean, that's a good profile. I like that clip and the milling, and it goes in and out of there perfectly. Yeah. And where I like to carry on this corner of this back pocket, again, it runs perfectly in that pocket. So, yeah, the clip is good. Let's check it for safety. So can I contact that blade? I can't. So that's a pass. What about the tip? Yeah, so, man, I can touch that tip all day long. And makes me wonder now if I can touch it on this one, because this looks the same. But the ergonomics of this one is a little different, and I cannot touch it. The blade is actually longer on this knife. I can see it looking down here now, that the blade is about 1/8 of an inch longer, and because of that, it's allowing me to very easily contact that tip right there. And so if this was down in my back pocket and I reached in on the side of this, like it would be in my back pocket, if I reached in on the side, it would slice me from one end of my finger to the other, because that is bad contact right there. So that's a fail. That is a safety fail. And it's bad enough that I don't know if I'd want this in my pocket, because, man, that's a change the trajectory of your day type cut right there. And I mean, all you got to do is just touch it. And of course, when you're reaching in your pocket, you're not going, "Ooh, am I going to encounter a scorpion or a bee, or is this thing going to bite me?" You're not thinking like that. You just reach in. And man, if you reached in here and you caught that, man, that is sliced. So I fear that I'm going to have to address that before this could ever get pocket time. So for now, it's probably just going to go in the knife case alongside its cousins. But I may have to come back and try to profile that edge somehow. And which is a bummer, because this is so thick stock here, and they've done a good job of profiling that blade. So I'm not sure how I'm going to handle that. I wonder if it cuts. I mean, it's got like a little burr. It could use a strop. And so bear with me a second. Okay. That was a little bit of work. get a legit piece of paper here. See what we did. Oh. Yeah, it's struggling. It's got burrs, man. All right, let me try it again. Okay. 3 hours later, I literally reprofiled this portion of the blade. It's not perfect, but it's definitely way better than it was. And it is super wicked sharp, but sometimes I find that certain blades don't deal with this fine paper as well. And if you get the angle off in any small way, it won't cut right. But yeah, so crazy sharp now. And but I did have to put some work into it. And then now I'll have to come back and treat this as a separate edge. I'll sharpen this separately from this. So this is good to go, but I'll redo this. Anyways, it's the TWOSUN TS20 Fest, even though that's a TS33. But clearly part of the family. So there you go, y'all. That's my collection of 20s. Appreciate you. I almost forgot. So, availability, pricing and availability. So this is currently running in auctions, and it's available on White Mountain Knives. So White Mountain Knives has this for $99 with a discount code. You can pick it up for about 90 bucks. What a great little pocket knife. Yeah, really nice. Now this one, because it's a front flipper, doesn't have that finger guard. So it changes, for me, it changes whether or not that's a self-defense knife. If you met resistance with this knife, in my opinion, the fingers would come up over that blade, making it more dangerous to defend yourself with it than not. Whereas this one has this finger guard. So this could go in the pocket and serve as a self-defense weapon. So food for thought. This one's kind of different, but it's got the finger guard as well as this one. You've got these 3 Tantos, 3 different versions of that Tanto here, and these two would make pretty good self-defense weapons. Lightweight, small package. Anyways, I paid right at $60 for this one at an eBay auction. And I think that's right around where they're going in eBay auctions. Like I said, you're at $90 on White Mountain Knives. So there you go. Appreciate you watching.